A very, very good evening. This is Arunava Chaudhuri. You're live on my YouTube channel, Arunfoot. It is Monday, the 10th of August, 2026. And it's another Indian football and more discussion. Couple of things, of course, as in the preview image. Um, UEFA, AFC, and CONCACAF are speaking about removing Gianni Infantino as FIFA president, while Mansukh Mandavi has made a statement. Is football really making excellent progress? I question that. Not only I, but I think a lot of people are questioning it and are surprised by that comment and statement by the Indian sports minister coming out in the way it did. And it is something which. Which I found very, very shocking to say the least, that the ministers come out with that statement, and it doesn't help Indian football in any way by saying, if I see that a lot of people have actually questioned that um, you know, um, and I still don't know how it came at it, and that's something so therefore we'll have to see what happens. Kalyan very kindly said, all is good to sports minister. What a joke. Sports minister always does not care about football. Kalyan wants to save his post. Aritra, yeah, but again, sports minister, so therefore for me, it's disappointing to say the least that the minister said what he said. It doesn't help Indian football. It doesn't take Indian football anywhere forward. And I think that's the bigger concern about the whole thing. It is something, uh, um, you know, again, by saying what he said, that the ISL is going to happen, and um, that new clubs are coming up. I don't know where he saw or who's told him that new clubs are coming up, where they're coming up. I don't know, and that's a question itself, I guess, to be asked. Um, as I say, it's a bit of a problem, but yeah, that's where we are. Hi, Sean, welcome back. Do you remember that strike by Durgapur in initial season of ISL almost scored that goal against David James? Shom, to be very honest with you, I don't remember that Durga Boro strike. I remember a Durga Boro strike. He used to play for a team called Oil India. I think Dulia Jan is, I think, the home base of that team. And they used to play in tournaments, and he was always a very stylish player, right? Little longer hair and all that I do remember, but I don't remember is the strike that he had for Northeast United against David James. Hi, Utsav, welcome back. Sportsman said, Mohan Began, what do you expect from him? I don't expect anything, but um, a lot of people said a lot of things about the sports minister, about the government and their involvement with football, this and that. So therefore, for me, why am I not surprised? That's my reaction to this whole situation. Right? To me, that is something which is, again, it's disappointing, but that's the reality of things. That we are where we are in this moment, and to me, um, such a statement doesn't really help Indian football, and therefore I am, as a well wisher of Indian football, again, just to quote the statement or part of the statement via ANI, football is making excellent progress. The ISL will be hosted again, and new football clubs are being formed. Um, yeah, it brings down shivers. So therefore, for me, reality and the lack of reality. We are back to Mohun Began and East Bengal and whatever. Tiger Shroff not gonna play Durand Cup. Yeah, sure. Big social media story from what I've seen today. A lot of people talking about it, writing about it, and it's again, it's for Mumbai FC. It's a PR story. It was a PR story. It is a PR story, and so therefore for me, uh, um, you know, so for me um, that's a problem, and that's why where it is. Hi, Blue, welcome back. Listening Kulaso played without ice today. Okay, Mohun did win big, so they've ensured top spot in Group A with a 6-0 against CISF. Yeah, that's been part of the problem of this competition, I would say. East Bengal also have qualified as one of the two best second place teams to make it into the quarters. Sir, if you were not a football fan, then as a neutral, don't you think Indian sportsmen should focus on athletics and Olympics, Commonwealth Games, and get as many medals as possible? No. Let's say forget the football fan factor, you know, um, and because football is the only global sport, right? And to me, the question is, um, athletics you can win as much as you can. Other sports you can potentially win as much as you can. But football is the biggest sport in the world. So therefore, for me, if you, I, we are there, football is there, and it is the biggest. Still selected by Lord Khalid. The problem with Deep is even if you guys make fun of Liston Colasso, how good are the others? What have the others performed? Right? Again, you have to look at our base of players on the wings who could play or who could not play. That's a sad part, right? Lack of quality. Yeah. Or maybe allocate resource towards hockey and be a world power. Utsav, what is the value of being a world power in hockey? Who cares? In India, hockey is national sport, said to be a national sport. India has finished um, third, winning the bronze medal twice in the Olympics, in the last two Olympics. What has it brought, given India? You know, and nothing. No. So you can redirect whatever you want. And again, there is a certain focus on athletics anyway because of it being a Commonwealth game slash Asian game slash Olympic sport. And India is getting better in it. But again, at the top level, yeah, it's a problem. How does this one always get selected in national game? We should try PV Vishnu on left wing now. Are you serious? Sure. And this shows me the lack of understanding if people throw in names. I saw in London Mohammed Sanan, right, who is one of the better younger ones, not ready for international football. And again, is he going to take the next step? No. And P. Vishnu is being played as a left back rather than a winger because, Oscar Bruzon didn't rate him as a winger and you want him to play national team. So that's the problem. Sorry, that is the problem of the so-called Indian football fan, right? Where you think you know and understand something and the coach will say, you know what, I don't think so. Gianni Infantino time is ticking now. So it's been ticking now since the day the news came out in regard to the FIFA Forward Enterprise proposal, and now of course with the strong statement coming out of Europe, the Asian Football Confederation as well as CONCACAF. It's a strong message. It's a very, very strong message. It's a hard message, I have to say. And um, even though, and then it's a tough one. It's a tough battle that seems to be we're heading towards. And yeah, so we'll have to wait and see. Say you saw the funny story about Ronaldo winning. Yes, so I not only read about it. I also saw some videos which were really insane. That you think in Madeira, on a small island, so many people turn up just to see the wedding of Cristiano Ronaldo, and then have to realize, someone else is getting married. And I'm just thinking about the couple who are getting married. Uh, you know, uh, you know, So therefore, for me, um, um, that was a crazy one, right? If you just think about, hey, you're just trying to get married and people are looking at you thinking, it reminds me of the day that Zlatan Ibrahimovic was announced by Barcelona. We were there with the Indian football team, and 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 India was training at La Masia, and 75,000 Barcelona fans came into the stadium. And those who came early, and India was training, uh, they thought Barcelona or some team of Barca was training. So Hundreds of people, I don't even know if hundreds or thousands of people actually rushed towards La Masia and then realized it was not Barca. It was really funny that day. It was like, okay, they think that you guys are all, you're Iniesta, you're Xavi and all those things. But those kind of things happen where you think that you're thinking you're seeing someone in a large crowd and then it is someone else. No one cares about hockey and they don't need more funds. They have most funds among all other hockey countries. Very true, Blue. Very, very true. This is something which people forget that in India, you can live off hockey. In no other country in the world, you can actually properly, or the whole squad can live off hockey. So those are some of the realities. Actually, India doesn't have an official national sport. Hockey is close to one. Yeah, but it is perceived to be the national sport, Blue. And I remember people also saying it's the national sport, or it's been said in the past as well. Um, yeah, so normally that's something where we are. Sir, we all want Indian football to do well, but don't you think resources should go to where there is potential, where we can do well or win something? Utsav, what are you going to, as I said, hockey, India spending the most in the world, right? Outcome, yeah, questionable league, disaster, right? Because it's not a league, it's a tournament. So the question is, by spending more money, are you going to get better? This is another problem, Utsav. It's not about money, it's about structure. It's about using resources rightly and wisely. So those are some of the things where we are struggling left, right, and center in Indian sports. Because why? The resources are there, right? Even in Indian football, potentially the resources are there. It's not being spent properly. That is Indian sports' biggest problem in today's world is that we are not spending the money rightly. That is our biggest problem. Is there any way to acquire Indian passport by someone who holds an OCI card without residing in India for a year in context to some overseas players holding OCI card? No. Um, Normally, let's get back to the normal times. Normal times, if you reside in India, it takes you 5 years to get Indian passport, right? It takes you 12 years if you live abroad. So within a year, no chance. If you're not living in India, you're not getting within 12 months a passport to play for India at the moment. So therefore, the sports passport is the only option. I don't know if someone has put this out there somewhere, but um, no. And the point is, it needs to stop. We discussed this yesterday that some random people are posting random stuff about XYZ player here, there, everywhere, and India is waiting for this guy, India is waiting for that guy. I don't even know some of the guys playing in some obscure leagues. So yeah, it's a bit of a problem in my opinion, and that needs to be looked at and needs to be taken care of. We should arrange more matches for senior national team for men's, no? Although we're playing in the FIFA windows. Normally, you don't play outside of the windows. We're now even overloading our windows with too many matches. If you want to add up 4 matches in ASEAN, which would normally cover the window, and now we've got the Brazil one, and in November we've got India playing in New Zealand, 2 matches, and theoretically SAF with at least 2 group matches, plus a semi, maybe a final as well. So that would be again. So therefore, you need to understand that there are FIFA windows in June. Sorry, in March, in June, and in September, October. That's one big window. And then in November, right? Normally you pay 10 to 12 matches a year. People should watch Indian football with zero hopes. Yeah, Aman. Sadly, one of those realities, if you want to talk about Indian football, watch Indian football, is that if you have hope, I think you're going to be disappointed, right? And so therefore for me, it's it's one of those things that's a reality if we like it or not. Do you think we should reduce foreigners or go for 11 in the ISL with the salary cap as foreigners eat up a major chunk of the team budget? No, Turbo. Then the quality will go down so dramatically that nobody will want to watch the product if you like it or not. The product has gotten worse because the number of foreigners have been reduced. And to me, the best example is I League 2. Um, some of the games are not to watch, right? So, um, so that's the reality of things. Um, Foreigners, yes, get a good salary, but again, the salary is not an Indian, sorry, a foreigner problem. It's a general problem. of our league, and we need to figure out how we can sort it out in the long run. And I don't know what the solution is, but there needs to be a solution. Good evening, dark night. How football is making progress according to sports minister? We need to ask him. I would love to understand more detail how the sports minister comes to that conclusion. Would love to know, because um, to me, just doesn't make sense what he said, and that's you know sad reality of things. And again, it's something where I say, how did we get here, right? How did we get here that a sports minister, an Indian sports minister, is able to say, you know what, Indian football is progressing at a moment where Indian football is on the edge once again, right? So which means the minister is not informed. Um, so to me is something um, you should be better informed about, right? Is it, I don't know if it's coming from Kalyan, or is it coming from the secretaries? Is he not informed? Um, Raises a lot of questions, in my opinion, sadly. Sumat Rathi has signed with UAE third division side under Stephen Taylor, who played alongside him and knows how good Sumit is. Yeah, all the best, because Sumit Rathi was not getting any more contracts in India, I think, if I'm honest. Um, he had his best time at Mohun Bagan Super Giant, or ATK Mohun Bagan, so to say. Um, and the question is, what is the next step for him? Because um, yeah, it's he has to see where he can play in the future. He needs to play, otherwise, um, very difficult. Doesn't seem a paid deal. But even if it's not a paid deal, but third division UAE for a player who's played ISL, shows you that he didn't have any other options, right? Or didn't want to take other options. I'm just thinking as devil's advocate and trying to understand sport ministry point of view. If football isn't working, why not focus on other sports like athletics, weightlifting, boxing, etc.? Play your devil's advocate? I don't know what you're trying to get to, right? Focus. What is the focus on those sports? Yeah, you're trying to get medals, right? And again, all these sports have their own issues, own problems. So therefore, the question is, how are we going to solve those problems? To me, that is the biggest problem. And weightlifting has its own set of problems. Boxing has its own set of problems. Athletics has had a lot of problems with doping cases. Yeah. So if you say football isn't working, then I would say the others have their own set of problems as well. Multiple federations, there's that, everything. Every sport is suffering in India. Even cricket is, right, in its own little ways. Sir, any update on Kerala Blasters C? Deva, no. At the moment, no updates. Just someone said to me, for all the clubs who are trying to do deals at the moment, the whole Tata thing has not helped at all. A lot of people are saying the Tata deal has really hurt the market quite substantially, because that pullout um, is yeah, it's quite drastic. And then, of course, Isol FC is saying, you know what, I don't want to play I League anymore, or IFL anymore. Dempo saying the same thing. Chanmari had hinted about it last week as well. The position of the leagues is not good. Indakashi still not sorted. Blasters not sorted. That certain talks about Odisha FC, and let's wait and see. Indian players think they're good for Europe and ready to even ask them they will not get any club. Yeah, Ahmed, they're not getting any club. Why? Again, to me, my counter question to anyone saying that an Indian player should get a contract in an ASEAN club. If I have the option of signing an Indian player, a Spanish player, English player, German player, French player, Italian player, someone from Eastern Europe, North America, Central America, South America, Africa, even Oceania, other parts of Asia, let's say China, Japan or Korea, or even Central Asia, why would I take an Indian player? So for an Indian player to go outside, either he has the links or he's paying for it. right? Either he has links, his own links, or via agents or whatever, or so that those are some of the realities. If I like it, you like it, we like it or not, brutal realities where we stand in today's world. Is the news about Tata Group going to rethink about their decision? Rahul, I don't think they're going to rethink their decision. Who says that? Who's put out the news, right? Again, someone put out a speculative social media post saying, "Oh, Tata's, I might be thinking about it." Uh, you know, uh, um, you know. So therefore, for me, um, the Tata Group was very very clear in its statement. Um, Maybe the way that they went about it was not in the best of taste, but to me, this was clear that this pulling the plug was always an option for them, as sad as it is. But I feel it was an option for them over the last year and a half, and things haven't gotten better. Things have gotten, people will tell you things have gotten better, but things have not gotten better, and this is the outcome of it. If you within a year, you know, and the problem is if Reliance say no, we're not interested. If CFG say, we're no longer interested to be involved in Mumbai City, are pulling out completely. If then the Tata say, we're not doing it. Aizawl FC now saying, we don't want to run an IFL team. All these things are very, 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 very bad signs for Indian football. To me, disastrous signs for Indian football, because it means you are unable to keep big players in the market or important players in the market. Look at the statement of Srinivas Dempo as well. So it means that everyone's thinking like, why should I invest into Indian football? What's the point? And that is something which if we like or not, yeah, is a reality, right? So therefore, for me, um, yeah, that's the reality of Indian football in the year 2026. Right, nearly 25 minutes. Quick reminder in this Indian football and more discussion tonight. If you haven't, do like, do share, do subscribe to Arunfoot. Yes, give it a like, give it a thumbs up. 9 likes so far. I think we can do better than that. And if you haven't, do subscribe to channel 4717 is my current number, meaning that 283 more subscribers are needed to get us over the 5,000 mark. So please do support the channel. And as always, thank you very much for your support. And do watch my short videos. I did something today about the so-called participation fees, and can clubs clearly change location ownership. Remember, I did a tweet last night during the show about that, and yeah, quite a bit of reactions on that as well. Therefore, thank you as always for your support, and please, and help as well. But we need to make club operations cheaper. People don't watch anyway, and don't think that's changing dramatically anytime soon. Togo, yeah. So what is it? Take the foreigners out, play with 11 Indian players, and nobody is interested. Even less people are interested than they're interested now. Again, this idea, we need to increase the quality, and we're not increasing the quality by saying, you know what, we only play Indian players. Then the quality goes down even further. Yeah. Again, you want make club operations cheaper, reduce the salaries. Simple. Reduce the salaries. That's the only way that will happen. I feel Indian player only has a chance about if he undercuts others and ready to pay 50% of salary any other foreigner play in. No, what's up? See, your problem is you're always looking at these things from a salary perspective. It's also about a quality. If you say, let's say an Indian player says, oh, you know what, I'll play for 1/10 of the money someone else is playing, and you're not good enough, why would someone pick you? Your financial logic doesn't make sense, right? If I have a decent player from XYZ country, and you say, oh, you know what, forget the country, the player is decent. He can be from anywhere in the world, and you want an Indian player in, it's not going to work, right? Do you watch Indian movies, RS? Not really. And I mean, watching movies comes down watching something on a stream platform. I don't know, Paramount Plus, Disney Plus, Netflix or something, but Bollywood really. Indian movies, no. Sir, ISL, IFL shut down only state league and cup competitions. How does the AFL still lose money? Of course. What's up? They're still running the state competitions, they're running the youth competitions, they're running the national teams, right? So the FF needs to cover its costs. Yeah, you know. So therefore, shutting down the leagues is one thing. Of course, you save a lot of money, um, but the FF still has to run a certain system in the name of Indian football. All these crises surrounding football ecosystem's future, and nobody wants to know why and who is responsible for this crisis in the first place. It boils me to the core. Yogendra, yeah, welcome to the club. And those people show themselves, oh, there's that, everything. And it hurts. It hurts um, because we're not making any sort of kind of progress. And things are getting worse, right? And when you think we've reached the lowest of the low, we go even below that barrier and go even lower. And this is something which I never thought in the last 3 years, 4 years, yeah, since we got banned, right? Um, Therefore, for me, um, it's something which, yeah, I think we've got a lot of people uh, who not don't want to know what the reality is, right? Who are not really in it to understand where we are. So, worldwide camera quality is 1080p, right? Only in La Liga they show from different angles. Mostly they show the touchline. Only like 4K cameras available, if I'm not wrong. No, wrong. 4K. I think Germany we don't not only use 4K, we use ultra HD, which is I think 8K. The Premier League will have surely 4K at least as well. So I don't know who's telling you that 1080 is the standard. How can ISL introduce salary caps with the clubs operating the league now? Is the best time to come up with the way to introduce salary caps? No, part it's not. Club A is going to tell Club B, you now have to be in the salary cap. Who's checking? Are you willing to open your books to me? You need an independent body above the league to be able to do that. And that is not from the clubs. Let me tell you that. Right? If I'm East Bengal, I'm not showing Mohun Bagan my books. If I'm Mohun Bagan, I'm not showing Mumbai City my books. Mumbai City doesn't want to show his books to Chennai. You need an independent, Um, so therefore, for me, the salary cap thing is something which needs to be worked out. If the league really at some stage is independent at the top, that those guys then work out a model where they can try and implement it. But again, there are too many loopholes in the Indian system where I can still play a player through the back door. And I think a lot of clubs would do that if the need arises. And therefore, one would have to wait and see. Was FSL ever able to break even or make money in peak ISL days? No. In peak ISL days, they were spending even more money. But they were even further away from breaking even. Breaking even, no one has done. So, very, very big problem. Do you ever feel like in your free time you don't want to watch football but do something else or watch something else? Or if there's some game going on during the weekend, you'll always watch it? RS, I watch football for the fun of it. And there are some games which I watch because, and, um, which you then watch freely. But yes, I do go out with friends, hang out with friends. Like to go out for a walk and all that stuff. Go to the pub and all those things. So yeah, those things also are there. Sir, will League France will get broadcast in? I'm a PSG fan. Damien, not sure. You see that um, the Bundesliga and Serie A have now gone to Z. If I'm not wrong, La Liga stays with fan code and Premier League stays with Star slash Hotstar. Yeah, let's see if League 1 goes to Sony, for example. Hey Rushabh, yes, all fine. Good to see you back. Salary cap we're not working in as there is black money compensation as well. Oops, Gazu, you spoke out the things. Um, you know, so that's part of the problem. That's what I'm saying. These backhand deals, and then there are multiple of them which have happened over the years. You're telling me this player is getting this much, but then you hear, the player actually got that much. Then you know that there is a second contract somewhere where the player is getting compensated, right? So don't you think turning down junior sports deal was a bad idea? 60 crore plus was good enough money, don't you think? Also, on one side, yes, the clubs wanted control, right? And the Genius deal sort of favored the AFF with a fixed payment to the AFF and the rest. The question is, how could they have done a club-led model which included Genius, right? And that is, I think, where they failed. Again, they've got now some deal with Sports Radar about the data, but you've missed out on the bigger deal, in my opinion, and that chance was missed to try and build something from there. So that's something which I feel was missed. And if I'm not wrong, then the clubs and Genius Sports per se never had a real conversation. So that's also something which I say, which is an opportunity lost, in my opinion, right? If you as clubs and you're a commercial entity which is interested in to come into the market, you don't have a proper conversation about things. Hey Roshan, welcome back to Arun Foot here on YouTube with another Indian football and more discussion with myself. The two big stories of the day are, of course, that there's been a joint statement from UEFA, AFC, and CONCACAF in regard to the FIFA president and the runnings of FIFA. So therefore, a lot of pressure, and that'll be interesting. And the second thing, of course, is yesterday's statement from Manzoor Mandavia, who says, football is making excellent progress. And so that to me was a shocking one, where I would love to ask the minister, how does he come to that conclusion that Indian football is making progress? Again, he's saying, yes, the leagues are happening, and new clubs are being formed, and this and that and everything. But I don't know where that reality actually factually is. I mean, because most people need to have a team to support in a game to watch it with full focus. Most people would consume something for entertainment when their teams are not playing. I don't know, RS, if that has to be, you can watch games seriously without supporting a team, enjoy and just enjoy the football. Um, Again, it depends on how you want to watch it. What was the figure in second FSL which AFF didn't accept? Who paid more in comparison with Genius Sport? So I don't know what FSTL second deal you're talking about. And there's no one who paid more than Genius. So there is no one other who paid more than Genius. We are at the zero value with the clubs running the thing. No? So there's no extra additional money somewhere. But now with all the developments currently going on, AFF should also consider revising the league pyramid debate. Roshan, what pyramid do you then want? This pyramid has needed years to evolve and develop. With ISL, IFL, I League 2. I League 3 to me still is a tournament. It's not a proper league. But I League 2, IFL, and ISL are the only proper leagues in this country with home and away format. Right? Uh, so, um, so therefore, that's the problem. So therefore, for me, Roshan, I don't know how we're going to restructure the system. Uh, so therefore, for me, it's I don't know if the league pyramid. Your problem is our structure is so weak, so poor. Corporates don't want to put in external money into the leagues, so it means that whoever's running clubs has to invest the money, and they don't want to do it. No, that's the problem. But we can't think about quality when we can't even run the league properly. We have to find a way where even the smallest of club will be able to run the club indefinitely. No, Tobo, that's your problem. That is the problem, and your problem is a small club. If you are not able to play at a level, don't accommodate them. And simple. We need to speak about Mohammedan Sporting. Mohammedan Sporting for me should have never played ISL. You know, so that's your problem. And if clubs are unable to play I League and say, it's costing me too much, because they suddenly have to wake up to reality, say, oops, what, Reliance no longer is there. Oh, everyone, all those so-called traditionalists and all who defended, the I League is the real league and all that kind of stuff. Um, you are being funded by Reliance for 15 years, and that is gone. That's the problem. AFF not able to generate money itself and so dependent on FSTL funds before MLA agreement expired and getting convinced the values are in between where it all went wrong. I don't know. Yogendra, very simple. The product Indian football, which certain people in 2022-23 said, oh, you know what, the real value is 100 crores, and then they went up to 500 crores. How much money have they raised? How much commercial money have these people raised? It's a big zero. It's a big, big zero. So that's your reality, right? So forget the value of the ISL, Yogendra. We're talking about value of ISL, IFL, I League 2, I League 3, IWL, IWL 2, Indian national teams, men's, women's, youth, national championships, and all that stuff, right? Afterwards, you would think that the 50 crore were too high as a value. What do you think of Suhail Bhatt? Did he make a wrong choice to join Mohun Bagan? Rishabh, afterwards you could be wiser. I would have said, you know what, joining Mohun Bagan wasn't the problem, but at some stage, I guess 2 years ago, he should have said, you know what, I'm going on loan somewhere else to get match practice, which he lacks, right? And therefore, there is stagnation rather than progression, or then start to get worse as well, right? We spoke a little earlier about Sumit Rathi, good example. So you get it right. As a franchise league for 10 years and now just now it's become a pyramid system, right? No. Broski, from 2019 onwards, it was becoming a pyramid in the sense of when the ISL took over from the I League being the top tier league. So we've always had a pyramid. The question was ISL was sort of outside of the pyramid, but then moved into the pyramid. And since 2019, since 2020, um, the ISL is has been the top tier league and is part of is top of that pyramid. How are teams like Mumbai and East Bengal spending big chunks even though returns are low in Indian football? Rahul, they're spending it because someone or the other is opening their pockets and spending the money. And what is the returns for East Bengal and Mohun? There are no returns. Whoever is spending the money is gone. If you're spending 1 rupee on XYZ club, that money is gone. That's not coming back, right? The clubs are fighting to cover their costs, right? That's your real problem. Is it Genius Sports some company that sell league data like Sports Radar company? Yeah. Or is it similar? But again, the offer was theoretically much bigger, no? Bro, we should literally stand against people like Kalyan and Mansukh, literally grow from mediocrity. It's not even mediocrity, broski, failure, you know? So, um, right? You're selling failure to me as success. That is the most concerning thing to me at the moment, given the realities of where we stand. So you think pre-match and post-match show should be a must for ISL and IFL? I think they did a good job producing those early games for IFL. I think yes, and and to me the problem is who's funding. How is it happening? What Didi did was good in the end, but again, I would have done it a little different. But again, better than nothing. But yeah, that's the problem. Small clubs who cannot afford to play but want to showcase talents can make tie upside down with bigger clubs who can afford. I said tie up. Sorry. Small clubs who cannot afford to play but want to showcase talents can make tie up with bigger clubs who can afford. Roshan, yeah, sounds nice. It doesn't work in Indian football ecosystem because the people say, no, I want to play in that league. We have had teams over the last decade playing ISL, I League, who don't belong to be there, right? Uh, you know, so therefore for me, um, it's yeah, it's a very difficult one. Good evening and good night in advance. How are you, Saji? Hypermaster, I'm good. Good to see you back after a while. I really like what Reliance is doing in Mizoram. They're enrolling kids as young as 5 years old in their local academies and training kids and keeping track of kids, so there's no age sheet. Yeah. Yeah, so not only them, but the Mizoram Football Association is ensuring that kids are being registered who's where there is no potential age tampering. So that's something which they are actually very cautious about, very anxious about. And I think it's a very important, very good step from their side to ensure or try to ensure that whoever the kids are, that they are the right age, and there is no age fraud in those respective teams and leagues. So therefore, that's something which is very important. And yeah, so therefore, um, it's realities of things, and yeah, therefore, I hope that the Nopang League works. I vaguely remember FSD wanted to have revenue sharing model and no fixed. What was the proposal? Itself, there was no fixed proposal because they never went into a proper discussion. There is a proposal which has gone around, but again, nothing as such. SC Delhi might have one of the most sustainable models, signing young Indian players and unproven foreigners rather than 35 words playing in Spain. They are also good as fan engagement. Let's see. They're spending money on fan engagement. And to me, Path, if in 2 or 3 years they realize this money we're spending, nothing is happening, they will also cut down on fan engagement. And again, let's see. Again, they if it works for them, great. No Imani gone. Does East Bengal have deep pockets to compete every year in transfer market? That's already this year you see. Now, if you say now, um, East Bengal doesn't have the deep pockets to compete with Mohun Bagan Supergiant. That's already evident. Brands probably thought back then they could create IPL 2.0, probably forgot you need very huge viewership to sustain in a third world country like ours. Being second biggest sport is not enough. I don't think they wanted to create an IPL 2.0. Again, yes, there were elements from the IPL, there were elements from American leagues, there were elements from European club football. Um, they didn't forget anything. The problem was is that the marketing spend at some stage was too high to be able to sustain it, and also aging stars and all that stuff. Yeah, works for a year or two, but how can you? The sustainability part was never looked at, right? Out of all states, Manipur has to learn from Mizoram on curbing age fraud. Path with all the things that are happening in Manipur, I think age fraud curbing is something which is, I think, way down their list. You know what happened to Chunga Ma from SC Delhi? Why he's not in Bruin Cup squad? Rahul, no. He was no, I might be injured. I don't know. I don't remember if I heard something. But then big clubs like East Bengal and Blasters are having problems with current model. You'll see this musical chair for investors every few years. Toba, as long as there's no stability, it will not happen. If you want stability, then you have to reduce your costs so dramatically that you cannot hold a league because your cost of players, your cost of infrastructure and running is too high, right? So you want to cut down the ISL and then you'll have an I League 3. Look at there are videos on the FF website from I League 3, then you understand my model, like how Dortmund, Brighton, etc. do. We can earn 3-4 crore every year selling players to East to Mumbai City, FC Bangalore, etc. Why don't they hold on to players till he's 21, 23 and then sell to big clubs? So you're comparing a developed market, which is Europe, um, to India. So for an I League club to be able to install such a model, you would have to have a good scouting network, produce your own players, and buy cheap, sell costly. Right? Again, you're talking about things which in the Indian marketplace doesn't work because you will not be able to keep your players for an extended period to be able to build up that model. That's my opinion, your biggest problem. Nice idea, nice thought, but doesn't work. Right? Even if you are I take Mumbai City. Let's take Mumbai City as an example, right? Even forget this year, even in earlier years, they did sell some of their big players, right? They sold Apuya, they sold Mehta, they allowed this year Changte to leave for free even because they know what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, right? So if you're building, um, you know, um, so therefore that's the reality. Hi, Pramod. Welcome back. Based on ISOL, Ajay, let me start Bablu's animation again. Based on ISOL FC situation, so in the future, if a club like Mohun gets relegated, they could just buy one spot and come right back. This creates precedent, makes relegation pointless. Very good summary, Bablu's animation. That's why I raised the question yesterday. What did I write yesterday on Twitter? Let me quote myself. I thought it was a smart um, thing to say on Twitter. Let me figure that out. Where is it? Just one question regarding selling of spots in the IFL, former I League, which seems to be happening at this very moment. Is it actually allowed as per the IFL league restrictions that teams can sell their spot to another entity from another city or state? Right? Again, 97 likes and 5k views on Twitter yesterday, since yesterday. And that was my question, right? Bablu's animation. That was my simple question, is saying like, guys, um, are we in a situation to be able to do that? What we're saying, right? And you're very, very right. Let's say, and this is the whole Churchill Brothers situation. Churchill, and we already have a precedent. Churchill Brothers is trying to buy its way into the ISL, right? De facto, they've been relegated to I League 2. So they've been, because they didn't win the I League 2 seasons ago. Last season, they didn't play I League, meant they got relegated. So therefore, they are in the third tier of Indian football. Theoretically, Churchill Brothers are trying, with the help of the AFF, it seems like. Again, seems like. That's why I'm using the word. Trying to get into the ISL. So we have that precedent. Um, and that is thing uh, that we are. And the ISOL situation to me is, and I said this now a lot over the last 2 days. I said this also in the separate video. Watch the video where I try and explain to you sort of why the fee and why is this, why is that. It's a problem. It was a problem. It is a problem because then you can't say you are a league with promotion, relegation, and everything else because you're willing to buy and sell slots, right? That to me is the big problem, and therefore that's the thing, right? And right, so for me, um, there is no simple answer or simple solution, and so let's wait and see. But it's you've rightly said it, precedent, and I think if I am right, I don't know if the rules and regulations have changed with the introduction of the Indian Football League. In I League in the old days, you can either get promoted or relegated, or you could be an expansion franchise, right? So let's wait and see. Is it even worth running a sports league other than cricket in India? Can you even make some league sustainable if you can't bring viewership like cricket? RS viewership is one. Sustainability is not just with viewership. Sustainability depends on if a sponsor believes and trusts in you. That's the biggest problem, right? And the trust again, yes, does come again from watch numbers. So to me, outside of cricket, IPL, and I think even the women's cricket league has made some money. Otherwise, no. All other leagues since day one have been losing money in Indian context. Do you think auction system with a budget cap like they do in the IPL would be a better way to sign players? No. So as I said, people have said, no, you can try and do back deals to play players. It won't work. Short overview on USEP 15 controversy. Rahul, if you want a short overview, my simple advice to you is I created this short video, 8 minutes 49, which says the AFF's India U15 team staff fiasco. Watch that, gives you a perfect overview of the situation. Very simply said, AFF wanted a coach, and, and and yeah, the AFF messed the whole thing up, and Ranjit got himself involved, made it even worse. He's got the backing of social media, and yeah, AFF made a mess of it. I think if Hatim Ali will play well in U20 AFC qualifying, he should include the senior team for upcoming matches. Amit, does he play senior level football to be playing senior level? Simple question to me. These things, doesn't work in my opinion. Intakashi at fourth most viewership. Is that true? Aman, no. I don't know where you hear that. Fourth most viewership. Highest supposedly Mohun Bagan, Blasters, East Bengal, and then Mumbai City. Even though I have heard somewhere else, these were what I think the stats that Ashish put out yesterday. And then, of course, retracted again. I don't know why. But I had heard that Blasters had the most viewership. But maybe because of all that's been going on, that the Blasters viewership was less this year. Sir, hi sir, new to Indian football and your channel. Welcome, Frastik. I've been a casual Indian football fan since 2013. Don't know much about it either. Sir, I want to ask why is there not even one young talent whom we can vouch on that he might do it? I mean, why isn't there any player? Many young Indian players have played in ISA, but not even one we can look at to. Why is that we don't have talent? Um, the problem is that our kids don't learn the right things at grassroots and youth level. In my opinion, the biggest problem, Indian football's biggest problem at this moment in time, as I speak to you, is that the football education of our kids is not good enough. And if the football education of the kids is not good enough, um, then you will struggle at when you get older, and that's what's been happening to our kids. That they're not good enough, and social media makes one good match and someone is world class, and yeah, it's very difficult, and we need to produce better players. We need to produce much better players for Indian football to be successful in the long run. But then, how would you increase the quality of the league with the level of our domestic players? Even if we managed to do it, would it translate to more viewership? Tobo, the problem is we at the moment it's about survival of the league. And for me, I've said this. I don't know if you were there or not there. To now blindly give you a solution doesn't make sense. You would need to analyze where do we stand, what are the issues, and you would have to understand 14 clubs will have 14 different set of issues. Some will be similar, some will be different. And the FF has its issues. You need to analyze that, and then you can give a solution or a way potential forward. Not just hey, listen, this, and let's work that way. I said could have sustainable if there was stricter salary cap or FFP similar to European League. FFP won't work. Bubbles, we've just spoken about it. You can do a second contract. You can do this. You can do that. Those who want to pay will pay. And again, my problem is people are cribbing about spending too much, but are spending too much themselves. That's the other joke in itself, right? If I can spend 10 rupees, but I think the market forces me to spend 20 rupees, the fault is not the market, the fault is mine. This is Indian football's biggest problem. If I have 10 rupees, spend 10 rupees. Don't spend 50 rupees and afterwards say, oh, you know what? I don't have money. Right? Doesn't work. Hey, Vikram, I am fine. Why are people can't understand basic knowledge of football difference between club owner and coach? If we are doing so well in youth level, why our national team so mad? How many young players playing outs India? Basic thing. Yeah, Vikram, you've asked this question. We've discussed this here on this channel at least multiple times. It is very sad to see, you know, and it is very disturbing to say the least of where we are stuck at this moment in time, that we're not moving, progressing forward in the right direction for us to be able to say, you know what, um, we're getting somewhere. And this forget basic knowledge of the people. If I see, I said I'm very disappointed if I see a statement like Srinivas Dempo, who I rate very very highly, but Srinivas says doesn't seem to understand how the business works. Sorry, a former vice president of the AFF, president of the Goa Football Association, and owner of Dempo Sports Club for, it's a family club. So what am I going to ask other people? Said other than consistent, who's good in your opinion at his level as coach in India if we get someone in future? First off, there are multiple coaches, but again, I don't want to get into this name picking game, right? There are a lot of coaches around the world who are playing, coaching national teams in difficult conditions, situations. I'm surely there are enough coaches that we could look at if we wanted to. Are things even going to fall in place? Nothing seems concrete yet. No, it takes time, but with these things going around, I do feel league will be shortened again. After we'll have a delayed kickoff. Simon, let's wait and see. I I I can't give you an answer. My thing is 16th October IFL around the same time, um, the ISL sooner or later. So yeah, let's wait and see what happens. Why most casuals need some superstar kid to get interested in Indian football, or only caring about national team, and say why national team is not World Cup? Just watch domestic league if you like football. RS, if it was so easy, and I love your explanation. I just love it, but it's not about you. It's not about me, no. It's not about us. Those of you who are here on a regular basis love Indian football or love football. So therefore, we're having those conversations, those discussions, and yeah, those are the realities of things, right? So for me, it's very difficult, um, you know, and I don't know if we're able to get out of this sort of we need a superstar to take us forward sort of idea, and yeah, I don't know. It's let's wait and see. I don't know where the next step is, to be very honest. It's just very difficult. Because Mizoram has age for control, we will see a lot of late bloomers from that state. They might not get the right opportunities, but get it later. It's Edmund. Yazoo Edmund was not a late bloomer. He was good at 1920 at BFC. I remember 2019, but he had he broke his leg in a derby. He was on loan at East Bengal in the I League at the time. And so therefore, for me, he could have, but then, had to fight his way through the system. The time at Inter Kashi was crucial, but if I see him now, he needs to be one or two steps better, which he's not. And that is for me the concern about a player like Edmund, who should be a regular for us um, at that level. But Edmund needs to be better than what he is, and that's my concern at the moment. So Sumit Rathi signed for UA third division club Desert Falconers. It's good for him. Let's see what Sumit can do. Right? We spoke about it a little earlier. I think important for him to get a chance and opportunity because he has to play. Right? If I look at the last few years, he's not played much, and that's a problem for a player like him. Um, Junior international, um, but hasn't made the cut. So therefore, for me, that's the biggest problem. The biggest problem. And Sumit Rathi for me is a very good example, right? In young player of the ISL, I think 4 or 5 years back, 5 years back, I think. And, you know, but reality, right? And hopefully he gets the curve and maybe becomes a regular at club and country down the road. But those are the realities of such players. And let's see what he's able to do in the UAE, if he's able to do something in the UAE. Just 1 second. I just need back 1 second. Back again. Ugh. Um, yeah, where were we? Shastik saying, but sir, the players playing in Iceland, I mean, they're the cream for the Indian football. They're the best. That's why they're playing there among some, I heard that is somewhere that are American players who play in Iceland are not even close to the European footballers that are playing in Iceland. Is that true? Yes, we can't even improve when these guys are playing with us. It's rustic. If you don't learn the right things in with your basics at a young age, um, you know, um, so if you don't learn how to trap a ball, stop a ball, technical things, tactical things, there's at some stage you get to an age where how can you, when will you catch up? That's a big problem. So that's the thing. And the players, the European players, of course, a lot of them experienced guys, um, who who have learned the trade at top academies, right? A lot of the Spaniards we see have suddenly, oh, this guy used to play at Barca, this guy used to play at Real Madrid in his youth. I feel awful watching Liston miss shots one after another in Duran Cup. My eyes bleeds. Well, I forgot it's our fault to have expectations. Yeah, Rahul. Sad thing, but reality, no? And we were discussing this earlier, and people were saying, "Oh, other he shouldn't be picked for the national team." And then my question is, yeah, okay, we don't pick him for the national team, then who will we pick, right? So therefore, that's the danger. That's the sad part, right? Where are the alternatives? Where I say, this guy could be playing. We don't have a letter. I'm saying we don't have the players. So um, yeah, that's the reality. We need to arrange some matches for our women's football team as well. Yeah, sure, yeah, you can. But the question is, how will the AFF fund it? The AFF doesn't have money, right? And um, the sad part of the women's game in an Indian context is the AFF needs to generate money. It's generating money um, via the men's game, and that's why the women's game doesn't get the support that it needs and it should get. How about not have ISL, IFL make state leagues the top league in the country in a Champions League like central competition with top clubs from each state play for the FC slots? Pablos, if you want to have state leagues as your top teams and do a Champions League like competition, the AFC will not allow it. You have to have a national league now for AFC slots. And Bablos, how many state leagues are really of quality? Yeah. So sorry, dead idea. If only our sports minister would know the reality of things. Yeah, Simon. I again, and the funny one is, does he actually believe what he's saying, or he knows better, or does he? Is this the information that someone has given him? I'm not clear about that. I'm a little confused. It's like, does he really believe what he thinks? Right? Yeah. With each passing day, with no news about Carvasser C, I'm fearing the worst, like a Jamshedpur FC like situation. That was animation. That could happen. And this is what I said last season, right? Um, that the Blasters fans criticize your club, don't turn your back on your club. That was the only thing I said last season, multiple times, right? Because to me, if you say we're leaving, um, we're not backing it, and the numbers seem to show that you also didn't watch it, then it is, in my opinion, a problem, right? So it is the way it is. But I'm with you, because for the ISL, if the Blasters are forced to pull out, this would be a disaster, right? A full disaster for Indian sports. For Indian sports as well, but for Indian football especially. I always thought social media will be limited to online, but if we ever start entertaining this as they're doing now, I fear for the worst. Simon, we are already in the worst, but the worst is taking us even to an even worse level. So that's the concern. Some guys are celebrating as Mohammad Subhajan scored 15 goals in the World Cup. Yeah, blue against whom, right? That's the whole problem of this whole competition at the moment, sadly. Malawi's women's national team qualified for the World Cup, being 150th ranked. We won against them in FIFA series, but it was a very lucky win. Just shows the rankings has even less significance in women's football. Thank you, Sujal. Very well said. We should have never beat Malawi. Malawi was better than us. They just didn't score. But again, right? Um, we glorified that win. Well, Malawi made it to the World Cup, and if I'm not wrong, we defeated them earlier this year. Yes, that was without those two star sisters. They have currently, yes, those two star sisters didn't play, but still, Malawi should have beaten us. Well, Malawi made it to World Cup, and if I'm wrong, yes, sorry, yes. Sir, should we allow tobacco or alcohol companies to sponsor ISL national team competitions if they don't do it in IPL? Why not? They can do it in IPL. Why not in ISL? Who tells you that tobacco and alcohol advertising is allowed? That has been banned for ages. No, I mean, tobacco and alcohol. Alcohol, we can have a word, but alcohol is an Indian. Again, if the word alcohol props up, a lot of people have alarm bells ringing. Um, you know, and so tobacco, I would never do. But alcohol, you've got surrogate advertising. Huh? So it's packed drinking water or those CDs. We were talking last week in London about those CDs of a certain company. So yeah, it's a question of what you want to do and how, um, and that's going to be the challenge. If Kerala was to shut down, Blasters fan move to go from Kerala? No. So who's telling you that? Why would they move to go from Kerala again? These I don't know where this logic then comes from. Will they support a team? Maybe they'll stop supporting. You don't know, no? Hi Shuman, welcome back. We often hear that our women's team are way ahead than our men's team, but the rest we are 6th ranked because we only play down bad Asian sides. We also how bad far behind we are in the Asian Cup. So not only that, but also when we played the FIFA series, no? However harsh it may sound, but sometimes I feel like we are far behind the women's game from the rest of the world than we are in men's game. Yeah, difficult to say. If you take the top teams in the women's game, right? Let's say the top Europeans, the US, Canada, maybe add Brazil to the mix. They are further ahead than, let's say, Spain is than our men's team. I agree on that. But again, because not whole of Asia plays, therefore there's an opportunity for us to somewhat compete, right? So that's something which I'm taking in. But the problem is at the end of the day, yeah, how are we getting it? No, so um, it's very sad. I have to say it's very sad to see how things have evolved and developed and not really worked out in our favor. And that is something which is reality of things and brutal as such. But we have to live with it. No? If I like it or not, you like it or not. But those are the realities of our football, right? Um, so therefore, um, that's something. They show tobacco ad every 2 minutes. The entire boundary ad boards are filled with tobacco ads. It is there. So I don't think so. Again, let me just do something. Direct or indirect tobacco advertising is strictly prohibited in Indian sports under national legislation as the Cigarettes and Other Tobacco Products Act, Top, TOTPA. Though companies frequently attempt to use surrogate advertising, brand sharing like look-alike non-tobacco products during major broadcasts. So I don't know where you're seeing tobacco advertising, um, but uh, yeah, we can beat teams around us, but SAF says otherwise in women's football, says Simon. When we get to know if we ever participate in ASEAN Blue at the moment, it looks like we are, right? Um, I know that certain people had reported that we're not playing. ASEAN, but so far, and therefore for me, we'll have to wait and see. But to me, it seems to me, um, it's again with the AFF. I don't know. Did you see a Malawi, a country of rank 153rd, one rank above Pakistan, qualified for Women's World Cup? Brazil, yes, broski. I've not seen. I've read it. They got Holland and Usman Equinox strikers sisters. Yes, yes. Malawi beat Ghana women to qualify semi for CAF women and qualify for World Cup. India women recently beat them 3-2. Yeah, Mitesh, but what's the value? So, um, um, what does it bring? Again, FIFA series, nice win, but when we needed to perform Asian Cup, and this is the problem when you football. Um, you know, so that's the thing. So therefore, for me, yeah, great. Not tobacco, gutka, pan masala like products. I think that is also banned. If I'm not wrong, Babulus, but I might be wrong. Yeah. Now betting companies gone, sponsor money slowly drying out. Yeah, what's up? That's a problem. Will they have mixed team? I think that's the only option. No idea. You know, you know. So therefore, for me is you know, it's. Let's wait and see what the FF does. Right. I'm not sure. The question is, why did the same clubs not back out last season if FSDL and Rans was to eventually decide their status? Simon, I think, again, an educated guess from my side would be that the clubs wanted to give this thing a chance. And I think the ISA clubs have missed the bus of making key appointments and distancing themselves from the day-to-day work of the league. Um, and that's hurting them. That's hurting them big time. So um, and even though it was a short league because relegation was in place, a lot of people had to spend money and lost a lot of money. That's another thing, right? So that's the thing. I managed to catch the stream today. If worked with tons of Finnish women's youth nationals, and women's national team, but to get into the U18 I was coaching a few years ago. Yeah, that's the problem. If the quality of our women's team, not their fault when the system has failed them, but it's the truth. Yeah, brutal. This proves that men Africa better than men Asian, women Asian better than women in terms of competition. No, it doesn't. See, the Malawi team that played and beat Ghana is not the same Malawi team beat India. That's your problem, right? I meant gutka only. Just tobacco sound more professional. Yeah, but gutka and tobacco, in my opinion, is not the same thing. Even though technically should be classified as tobacco. In 3 September, they're planning even league matches to have extra time and penalties. Babalus, I would love to see those numbers. I've been reading about them. I don't know, so I'm not sure. Um, so that's why I'm saying that in India, someone claims something and then everyone thinks, oh, they had good numbers. What are the numbers? Right? The numbers don't add up, right? Indian women should play more with Africa women, not Europe women. At least that will enhance their skills. Okay. Yeah. I don't know why, Hitesh, you're saying that, but African women, our problem is will be physicality. But again, that's my take. Gutka ads are banned like Bimal gives ads, but that's their elaichi, though their gutka and elaichi packs are identical with described it's surrogate advertising. Okay. So it is not gutka advertising. It is okay. It's like yeah, Kingfisher packed drinking water, right? Or packaged drinking water. Okay, understood. With all the adversity they faced, the Jersey situation was one hell of a disaster. Failed them with the whole coaching dilemma. Simon, and that's where does it take us? With that they have South Africa is not going to win the World Cup, right? We said this, we've discussed this multiple times, and they still don't have an official coach, or maybe I'm mistaken. At the moment, no. For what? There's no date, there's no setup, there's nothing. Why do you need a coach? Why do you need to pay a coach? Right? That's the problem. Those who brag our rankings, I just urge them to watch one game of women's team, not trying to demean anyone, but the quality isn't there, let alone quality. It's hard to watch 90 minutes. Yeah. Europe and then Africa and Southern, in terms of football quality, you will see this more in future. Broski, Europe is best, then South America, then Africa. If you want it from a women's perspective, men's game, I think Africa is close to overtaking South America. But sorry, in the women's game, Europe, North America with US and Canada, and then you have South America and then Africa. South America is back after. Yes, he is. It would be funny as hell if Sunil Chetri, Gopi, at GGS and sing and dance with someone on Tashan Kashanad. Okay, I don't know who the two other guys are. And I don't know what ad you're meaning. What's up? 1 hour. Reminder, if you haven't, give it a like. If you haven't, do please support the channel. As always, thank you. 17 likes so far. Had 32 likes, I think 30 or 32, 3 likes. If you haven't, do subscribe to the channel, share with others so that we can grow and slowly itching towards the 5,000 mark, 4,719 at this moment in time. Thank you very much as always. And watch the short videos. Did something on the let's wait and see. Basically tried to say dance on tobacco ads. Okay, sure. Thanks. Nigeria 10 times in CAF, but they lost in quarterfinals to Cameroon, went 2 times in 14 minutes in this. They have to go to playoffs to play qualify for World Cup. Why has there been decline in Nigeria? Hitesh, why Nigerian the under 17s haven't qualified for a World Cup and they used to be regular world champions, right? Something is going wrong. What? I wouldn't know. Gutka ads advertise themselves by claiming their product as mouth fresheners. That's that Gutka ad. Oh God. Okay. I'm learning something from you guys. If given power, will it rule or decision you would implement in Indian football? Rahul, I've said this. If I was in a position of power within Indian football and had to decide things, I wouldn't just hit it out, and um, monitor, understand what is right, what is wrong, and just not do something for the sake of doing it. So therefore, it just to just say here publicly, yeah, this way, that way, it doesn't work in my opinion. Vladimir is giving you a death stare in the thumbnail. Not me, you. Yeah, his face is next to me, right? So therefore, he's staring at you, the football fans. I suggest you also maybe try with YouTube Shorts for getting reach. Yeah, broski. I saw a post regarding clubs selling their IFL license. What's the real issue with that? Can you please elaborate, Mahesh? I thought the IFL, promotion relegation or expansion franchise. I thought it's like tomorrow if let's say Wrexham, not now, but if when Wrexham was in the National League and those guys bought it from America, say, hey, listen, Luton Town, I am buying your license. If they were in the Premier League at the time, right? And I'd buy your license, I'd take your spot. Doesn't happen, right? Those all those tradition. Where are all those traditionalists who defended the I League is the true league and all that kind of blah blah blah? Um, right. Well, the problem is for me. For example, we've also had the concrete issue. Churchill Brothers, as per the AFF, has been relegated to I League Three. You know, and I League Three. I'm saying I League Two into the third division of Indian football. Now they're trying to buy something to get into the ISL, right? So therefore, then what is the value of promotion relegation and saying, oh, integrity of the league and this and that? You can buy yourself into, let's see where it is. Also, is this buying license to play legal under rule books? Simon, as per my understanding, under rules and regulations of the league, it should not be allowed. But under this current AFF, everything is allowed. Now that's the whole problem. That's our whole problem. Do you know all these cricket sponsors are betting app? Of course, it is banned now, but it has hit Apple viewership massive because many people used to watch Apple just to win the bet. No. So I guess that's something which is, Dream 11 and all those platforms were there. Yeah, I didn't know it specifically, but that's reality. What is the official date of start of ISL? None shown. There is no date. Simon says, yeah. If Dempo goes out, Churchill will surely sneak in IFL. Saw the Insta post and they say be ready. Yeah, but Sujal, they're trying ISL, not IFL. IFL would be a loss for them, right? So I don't know. It's a very difficult one. As if I ever had honest president thoughts, if I don't know our presidents, so I can't judge. Kalyan says, trust me. Bhai says, Simon. Okay, Comas would never think of himself. Okay. How do you think the contribution of Swedish coach Joe Madison in junior women's football? He took the women's football to Sweden. Because she's done well, no? With under 17, under 20s, he's done what he could given the circumstances. Let's see. In the chaos of this uniform, which club do you think is doing the best work? Which is doing the best work? Oh. Mm. Who is doing the best work in the league? Oh, I would most probably say my ex-team, Punjab FC, Round Glass Punjab. I think they would be the ones. 1 second, let me just reduce the lights a little. Yeah, Round Glass Punjab FC in the sense. Anyone in chat knows Shikhar Dhawan? He was ex-Indian cricketer. He's playing in some retirement league where his FS is Vimal, which is Gutka company. Okay. I didn't know all of these Gutka stories. Very surprised to hear about those things. To be very honest with you guys, wasn't aware. But yeah, it's learned something about Gutka and companies from you guys today. As I say, I wasn't aware of this whole scenario existing in Indian sports, so to say. That that people are working or have been working around rules and regulations to get things, so to say, sorted, which then in itself is a problem, right? So yeah, therefore we'll have to um, wait and see what happens, right? So yeah. Punjab C is doing great work. So yeah, exactly. Cyber Game, and that's what I said. My former team, Punjab C, doing good work. Why didn't AF just say that Arunava doesn't have a coaching A license, is not part of the coaching? Why drag the drama along? That's why I have no idea. I he doesn't have any license, right? If I'm not wrong, he doesn't have any coaching license. And again, what shocked me the most is when he tried to explain, the coaching philosophy between me and Vignano doesn't match. Like, huh? Who's asking you about your coaching philosophy, right? And so therefore, I don't know. So to me, um, what AFF done is, and this under 15 thing, we've also given it priority to a level which was not needed, right? Is asking 1 crore from clubs really necessary? Like, can the leagues not run in less money? So, Joel, don't forget, you have to have a central pool staff managing the league. You have to have match day operations. You have to have media broadcast. All those things that cost money, right? So, yeah, cut it down, and then you don't need to hold the league. This is one problem. So it's anyone questioning that side of the thing. Sorry, doesn't understand football, in my opinion, and the commercial side of football. The I League clubs have been the biggest beneficiaries of support from the AFF of the Reliance money, right? So I have a story which may shock you. Go ahead, broski. You know, in India, in every state cricket, hockey, and kabaddi and football leagues, match fixing happening. No show how I don't. This statement today was also shows about how misinformed people are about football now and feeling football is trapped in an infinite loop. Simon Gaming, welcome. If you ever saw cricket match played in India, just look at the background. It looks so foggy and it's ad banners everywhere. Okay, I don't watch cricket, so I don't know. Utsav says, I hope Rajshri bids for ISL title sponsors Kalyan and Chetri dancing with Samar Khan would be funny as hell. Okay, I guess Rajshri is another gutka company. The Moroccan intelligence agency has its agents infiltrated in Spain to track every second-gen Moroccan playing professionally in Spain. They've tracked over 3,000 players and also are involved in convincing players to play for Morocco. Recently, Kyoto sent some spies to Spain as well. I know. I got to know this from my close friend working in Moroccan FA. Guys, Roski, this whole 3,000 players tracking thing is not true. I don't know who's telling you what, where. Uh, again, and intelligence ways that why would a football player listen to an intelligence aide and say, oh, you need to play for Morocco? Just think for some of the stuff people are putting out on social media is so ridiculous, right? That Morocco is surely tracking kids and via scouts and via people. Again, Turkey used to have in the 80s and 90s a guy called Erdal Keza. Erdal Keza used to play for Borussia Dortmund. And then they created Turkish FA created a Dortmund office. And you could, and so that's the thing. So do you think Ronaldo can excel in the UAE? Rahul, I have no clue. I don't even know how good or how bad he is. I mean, he was playing Kerala, Super League Kerala, right? That was the last thing where he played. Is the one football deal still alive? Simon has been dead. Since the exit of Reliance, it's dead. Privatizing FIFA is the biggest mistake, I think. It just feels like FIFA wants to be like NFL. Cyber gaming, FIFA doesn't want to privatize itself. FIFA wants to privatize the World Cup. So there's a difference in that. And it's, yeah. So therefore, again, understanding. So what do you think is the future for under 17, under 20, under 23 team? Rahul, we need better players. Otherwise, we have a problem, right? At the moment, we have a huge problem because we don't have good enough players. What do you feel about the answer serving questions they put out before? Mahesh, actually, I've actually have it in a tab. I have not been able to look at it. I need to actually look at and answer it as well. Sir, in India, beef is banned. Still export beef in large numbers. These things are very sad to see. Yeah. What is AFF asking for money from IFL clubs than ISL? Roshan, because IFL, you have 10 teams and the ISL has supposedly 14, now 13. Anyway, there's a C coaching license by Yash, blogger coach. They were both the same coaching license class of graduate. Yeah, Yasu. And he also claims to have played for India at some level, right? So I don't know. Talking about philosophy in 15 football is so funny. Yeah. Well, also the other day, Chennai SC wrote a post about how I League worked before in a way that clubs get subsidies. Now he says it's a good decision by a club like us. Mahesh, and this is ignorance. Rohit, people like Rohit are and those things, Um, uh, because why should you as a club get a subsidy from the F? And this is a question I asked 10 years back, and a lot of people didn't like the question at the time. If you are on your own, not able to play in a certain level, go at least a level or two down, right? It is so ridiculous. Subsidies. Where in the world do clubs get subsidies from a national body? If the league is not making the money for you, then you have to make the money for yourself, right? Doesn't work. Hirenji and Ashish question difference in the fees to be paid by IFL and ISL. What's your thoughts, sir? Simon, you have less teams in the IFL and more teams in the ISL. That's why the ISL overall central pool costing is higher, right? But you have more teams to divide it by, and the IFL have 10 teams. So that's the reason, right? You Mumbai, which plays in Pro Kabaddi League, it's owned by Ronnie Screwvala, but now it's handled by Suhail Chandok and the match allegation last season. I have no idea what allegations or not. I know Ronnie Screwvala and I know Suhail from the past as well. Yeah. Is it true that there's series for football he works for Royal Moroccan Federation? Roski. It's been debunked. So again, what am I gonna say? You're telling me it's true, and then other people tell me you're not true. Morocco was should scout Ajay, even though there's nothing illegal, but yeah. These Ranji fans have all of a sudden started to downplay Viviano. Every time he's been the coach 2024, we didn't qualify. Yeah, so that's reality. I was talking with Sir yesterday about this. He says it's Ajay is not good enough for the main national team though. That's a different question. These are never fans just killing. Yeah. So let's not talk about them. Movements do fail the fan survey. Yes, they should. You can get away with paying the federation. Yeah. Because of government banning these betting companies, many media houses are suffering because they don't get sponsors now. Okay, I don't know which media company is suffering because of betting being removed. What happened to Mahesh Singh? Injured, Rahul. Mahesh Singh has been injured for a while, and therefore he has played little to nothing in the last few weeks and months. Where does Bryce Miranda and Glenn Martins play? If I'm both of them joined Chennai. Bryce Miranda joined Chennai FC for sure. And if I'm not wrong, Glenn Martins also joined Chennai FC. One second, let me check. Bryce Miranda, yes. And yeah, both of them have joined Chennai FC. So Chennai FC so far have announced the arrival of Bryson Fernandez, Ayush Chetri, Glenn Martins, Namyal Bhutia, Mohamed Sahif, Nuno Reyes, Nicolas Stojanovic, Bryce Miranda, as well as today announcing Emmanuel Imani Shimwe, the Rwanda striker, while extending contracts of Mason Singh and Prakadeshwaran. So Chennai have been the most active of all clubs in the Indian Super League in regard to transfers so far. We all talk about problem at watching country, start watching their own team. How are we the second largest football watching country? I don't know where that comes from. Is it just out of sheer side? And for our football to improve, that's going to take time, right? And you know um, people need to support, and I always say, love to say unconditional support. If we don't do an unconditional support, nothing will happen to us. We are back to this old situation. Um, yeah, and that's the problem. We fans need to support football and maybe also live through difficult days, times, weeks, months where we're not successful. Otherwise, we're only waiting for the success to come to us. Eagles team much always had Nanda in his squad. I don't understand why. Says Sean Glenn Martins to Chennai. Chennai FC. Here we go, says Simon. So why are Chennai FC 7 players? It looks like Chennai have woken up. Yeah, maybe. I don't know why, but it seems like under um, Clifford Miranda, they want to have a real go. Rwanda, first of a kind. Think I don't remember. You know who's the national coach of Rwanda? We know him very very well. A certain Stephen Constantine is currently is the coach of Rwanda. One of the best in those days. Yeah, so just supposedly, but again, is there any fact regarding Chanun's interest to get signed by Isaac? I was just another made up story. My Shan had an interest last year in the winter. It can be said. I think there were even talks with Mohammed Sporting in January 2025. And in the end, the deal didn't come about. I honestly miss those early ISL days when Chennai FC, Kolkata, and Goa used to dominate, and then after Bangalore came as well. So show him, okay. I always love the talk. Guess act more thing, but who will take the initiative in the real sense are divided on their I mean you aren't signed for Eastern Europe League football. So I don't know. Was it holding them back? Sure, maybe not. Yeah, Stephen Constantine, coach of Rwanda. I see people start talking a bit more people talking about it doesn't mean that Indian football suddenly will find its mojo and suddenly will move in the right directions. Indian football at the moment is heading in a direction which is, I feel, very, very dangerous. Right? The question is, can we rectify? You know, and this you call it marketing, I call it fake PR or negative positive PR for a negative story or a not a real story. It's harming. I think Bryce Miranda came from a school near my house. Okay, show him. Do you think AFF can raise 40 crore for the Brazil match? Rahul, I don't know. Why does the AFF have to raise 40 crores? Where does this figure come from? I've said in the last few days, a lot of figures are floating around, figure X, Y, Z, and nobody knows if those figures are right or wrong. Right? Um, so sir, could you answer my question again? Couldn't hear you. Okay. Um I always love the talk less act more thing, but who takes the initiative? Simon, the who are the right people to take that initiative? Right? That's the problem, right? People fans are divided in opinion, getting work together for the one common aim, which is to try and save and my problem is with act talk less act more is very good, but again it needs action from people who understand things. We can't blindly do things for the sake of doing things, and that's the biggest problem I feel Indian football has at the moment, right? Because yeah, we're not going. um that's the thing. Duran Cup is considered as a preseason tournament, right? But is it quality tournament? No, Manish. Because um why do you have only 5 ISL teams this year taking part? Because the standard has dropped immensely, right? That's the problem. Stripping is always, yeah. Sir, I feel fans have the right to move Two from Indian football. It's been near 30 years. We never do well in AFC competition. We never do well in ASEAN Cup. San condition support is drying out. Yeah, so but then you're not a fan. If you're saying, oh, because you're not successful, oh, it's not going to work. Doesn't work. Yeah. So that's the is it, and so for me, um, if it's 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, 100 years, if you're a football fan of a team, of a nation, you can't choose your nation, right? Or you shouldn't. Indians do. Sorry. Let me start differently. Indians do choose nations which they want to support, and you will have this weird thing in Kolkata, uh, you know, and that people will support rather Brazil than their own country, which is a non-starter in my opinion, right? I would call it anti-national, but hey, I like the way you're addressing our questions over, and they will succeed. Thanks, Rodi. Has Hitam Ali earned Banjan Asad to be selected in 20 purpose? No idea, Hitesh. There are more matches coming up against Yenim. It is your team for ASEAN Cup. What do you feel? I have no idea much. I don't have a feeling. I don't have an idea. With the AFF, you're coming with logic. Don't try and start. Is it true AFF sorted out FIFA to play Brazil match in ASEAN Cup? No. Welcome, Simon. Can you give me a rough number of actual Indian football fans? I have no idea. Sure. I I think nobody has an idea. Yeah. It's I don't have an idea. I wouldn't be able to judge if it's 5 fans, 5,000, 500,000. I don't know. FIFA apparently rejected proposal to accept it afterwards. How does that work? Because Simon, FIFA has not discussed it, right? So therefore, people are saying, oh, this has been discussed, that has been discussed. Most probably not, right? According to me, it's 2 lakhs. No, I don't know the number, but not 2 lakhs. It's surely more than 2 lakhs. You can debate with those fans. They always throw the entertainment first angle. Yeah, but Simon, that's your opinion. According to you, who is the best Indian player last season? Who will be the best in the upcoming season? Oh, who was best last season? Hmm. I wouldn't be able to tell you who was the best Indian player last season. Who had a standout season to say, oh, he was consistent all season? Is there someone in East Bengal? No. Is there someone in Mohun Bagan? No. Mumbai City? No. I would be able to tell you, right? Honestly. But who would tell them that they themselves are due hard but merely casuals? Even telling them, will they understand it? Not supporting because your team doesn't win is like abandoning your son because he can't do good in life, and saying that your neighbor's son is now your son because he's better than your own son. Oh, super. Very nice. Very nice. And yeah, what this person just say. Actually, he said that football making excellent progress. Time to sleep. Good night. Good night, Shoham. See you. Would transfer accepting if it would made any change? No. It makes things only worse because with all that he's done, all the antics, it makes no sense. And don't forget futsal. When it was started, he and Shaji tried to sort it out. India finished last, right? Hi, Nixon. Welcome back. Maybe this person will give you an answer about the number of Indian fans. Like you said, football is excelling here. So, Mahesh, yeah, maybe the sports minister knows better. I don't know. It's bizarre. If you're asking me, it makes no sense. Those are realities, right? Those are the realities, and we'll have to live with it. Quick prediction for the FC Goa game. So I don't have. I can Arkadak to me is favorite against Goa. Simple as that. And East Bengal Al Arabi, looking at Al Arabi sort. Yeah. Um, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I hope East Bengal and Goa get good results. Ideally, both would win, but I don't know. I've this always a question. Typos and autocorrections, the highlights of my messages. Yeah, Simon. Yeah. Need to check those a little better. Huh? That you are able to pass on the right messages. Yeah. Good night, Simon. The FIFA was they have helped Indian football. It's not FIFA. The problem is, yeah, people don't seem to understand um, uh, what FIFA is doing. Right? They are on one side um, trying to privatize the World Cup, but not FIFA. FIFA is a non-profit body registered in Switzerland, and they won't change that. Um, it would have most probably helped not only India but a lot of those smaller nations, because the money that FIFA, the grants you get every year would have quadrupled. Yeah, from you know 1.5, 2 million to 7.5 to 8. So that's one of the biggest things. But does it? But selling the World Cup or stakes in the World Cup again, I still don't know. Do you have to then share the profits? Do you have to give them some profits with the interest? How does it work? Right? No one is giving you money to just keep it and say, listen, you make a profit and you just give us our money back at some stage. Doesn't work. Maybe sports is to mini Brazil. What work? I've been satisfied with East Bengal piece. Yeah, sure. It's not been good. Injuries. Players didn't come in at the right time. All those factors, East Bengal Football Club has not, in my opinion, has not done well. Red and gold go into that Al Arabi match. Who I very, very clearly. Concerns. Archana, that's good, but yeah, um, it's something which which you can do. Grievances. Let's put it this way. Right, that's the biggest problem. Indian football's biggest problem is who's going to listen and why, and and who's going to take that decision and a call to make the right call. 1 hour 50 minutes plus. Quick reminder: please do like, share, and subscribe. Arun Foot on YouTube. 21 likes so far. You're listening, you're watching, you're liking. Please do subscribe to the channel. 4,721. Thank you to all of you who are new to the family, which means 279 to go for the 5,000 mark. So thank you very much, everyone. And most probably tomorrow, there's an exclusive interview which I've made with someone who signed a contract in North America. Yeah, let's see. South Asian footballer, let's see what happens with that. Exclusive interview coming tomorrow. Why New Zealand even playing friendly with India? Rahul, government to government. New Zealand is celebrating 100 years of sports in New Zealand, and the New Zealand government spoke to the Indian government. The Indian government spoke to FF. 49 recharge. So what social media criticism on what? Social media is has it really helped? Has social media helped in an Indian football? And to me, that's the sad part, because social media is not jumping on the people who are saying the right. We are looking at things, and but yeah, but the people who are saying the right things, doing the right things, they're not being supported. The people who are the loudest are being supported. That is the problem of Indian football stands, right? So to me, that's our biggest problem at this moment in time. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if things will change one day, but I hope. Like what has started happening as some parts of the country, for example, process. Okay. Do you see any use in democracy protests by fans? Protests are always good. If they're going to work or not, that's, I think you have to look at from case to case basis. I have my doubts that the Tata Group is going to change its opinion. Uh, you know, uh, so for me is yeah. At least you tried, no? When you have seniority in AFF, total disgrace. When have you seen unity in AFF? Total... Nixon, in what context are you saying that? What is the decrease in what unity in the AFF are you talking about? Can you elaborate? Or is it worth it being invested and depressed because the national team not doing well? We all have problems, stress in our life. Football, in fact, any sports is entertainment after all. No, it's not entertainment. See, Utsav, that is, if sports for you is entertainment, that is your first mistake. S- Football is a matter bigger and more important than life and death, right? Has been said. So if it's entertainment for you, then it's not right. And if you support a team, a club, right? Most fans who support XYZ club will never win a title. You know, we know what happened after Messi's India visit and the state of Indian football before and after that. But what you got the social media story of Mbappe visit to Bangladesh. Mahesh, uh, these visits have no impact on the development and growth of football in those countries. These are, superstar visits. It's like people coming for concerts. Yeah, concert flying in, doing a concert, flying home. Right? No value. Yesterday, you mentioned Runners Academy could have been even better if they implemented more of your suggestions. Could you give an example what steps they should try? No, Rishabh, these are things that I would tell those guys, again, not for public consumption. Maybe I shouldn't have said it, but I said it yesterday. So, okay. But I know what I would have thought I would have done differently, but I keep it to myself. Why are big conglomerate so hesitant to spend big on football potential in football is done well? What is the potential? 299 ka recharge. What is the potential of Indian football? If you want to tell me the potential of Indian football is undeniable, then people will counter you and say, "Listen, we've been hearing the word potential." As with Indian footballers, potential is a big word. We have not delivered on that potential, right? So the problem is here very simple. We talk about potential. We talk about, hey, we could do this, we could do that, and then those things don't happen. You know, you know. Any idea regarding IFL broadcast this season, Mahesh? Are we sure that we're having an IFL? You down the road, it's like asking, oh, what's happening with the ISL broadcast? And then the ISL broadcast has the dates have been extended, right? So broadcast in India, a big problem at the moment for the two top leagues. Working towards a singular goal of raising Indian football quality to comparable levels of Europe or Latin America. Nixon, your first mistake is saying that your second partner, comparable levels of Europe or Latin America. We are so far away from Europe and Latin America. Even if we were, let's say, 10% better from where we are, right? Uh, um, so therefore, it the problem is if the people there are two three problems that come together. One, a lot of people are sitting in those bodies who look at themselves, care about themselves. A lot of people don't understand football. Let's be very clear. And the third lot who do understand football don't want to open their mouth. That also exists. So these are all the realities which are there in that Indian football ecosystem, and it's a problem. It's a massive problem. Like Saudis, Qataris spending big, or even Abramovich. Yeah, but Abramovich has spent. Abramovich has even, uh, you know, so. But we are not spending like the Qataris and Saudis. The potential of football, yeah, great. We're talking Indian football, not ball, not world football. Yes, we have the power, potential, not even qualify for Asian Cup. Nice, yeah. The potential thing for me is so vague, right? Oh, we have talent. Oh, we have this. Oh, we have that. But we're not doing anything with it, no? And the problem is the blame goes only to the AFF. The AFF have their share of the blame to take, but the rest of the system, everyone involved, everybody involved needs to take their share of the blame that Indian football is where it is today, right? And people are saying, no, I'm doing my best. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. But are you part of the solution or are you part of the problem? That's my question. If you talk about potential, then even I have the potential of breaking all of Messi's records. Yeah, consider. And I have the potential to break your records, which you have broken from Messi. So brilliant, our potential. Potential is too easy and is for me no tangible result, right? We can talk about all those things, but if we don't get results at some stage, uh, you know, uh, uh, you know, um, it's we're not getting anywhere, right? And that is to me a very big problem. Very, 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 very big problem. I mean, the commercial potential, why not the biggest jump on it? Where is the commercial potential? Again, you're making it worse now. Now we've moved from the football on the field potential to the off field potential. At the moment, Indian football, not at the moment, Indian football has always lost money. If I like it, you like it, we like it. Indian football has always lost money. And that's our biggest problem, right? So therefore, for me, yeah, it's we are overspending, and those who are spending are overspending, and we don't have a solution of how to reduce our overspending. Very simple. Commercially, Indian football needs to get out of the window that it is in itself. But how are we getting out of it? I think most people don't have an answer to that. And that is our biggest problem at the moment, right? If we look at things, biggest problem, right? 299 ka recharge. Because potential on the field, potential about management, commercial potential, this potential, that potential. It's like, is football really making excellent progress, as the minister says? No, we're not, right? And that is, to me, the biggest problem. Arun, now it's about survival of ecosystem rather than progress and moving forward. Then, as a fan, what should we expect moving forward? Yogendra, your first part of your statement is very, very important. It's about survival of the ecosystem. It is, right. It was about last season, it was the same thing. The hope was people would sort out things in the summer and things would move in the right direction. Things have moved in the same, we, we've not even sort of kept this. We've even gone further down. Why? Because Jamshedpur said Tata, Aizawl FC says Tata bye bye, which means it weakens the league. The leagues, right? And others are. Uh, do you know if Diamond Harbour is going to play? Odisha is going to play. Inter Kashi is going to play. What's the situation with the Blasters? What's the situation with East Bengal? What's the situation with Dempo, with Mohammedan Sporting, with Chanmari? It's too many. Top division clubs are deciding to move out of league, and some clubs not even have owners. So which PK will not jump in and help? Mahesh, good question. Nobody. The biggest, Reliance has pulled out, CFG has pulled out, now Tatas have pulled out. Three of the, you know, three of the biggest. I hope all's good. Where's Chris nowadays? You guys don't work together nowadays, so what's good? Does he have a YouTube channel too? No, Chris doesn't have a YouTube channel. Follow him, what he does on Insta. Chris, we were speaking yesterday. We're going to go to the six-a-side World Cup in here in Germany in 3 weeks. So we're coordinating yesterday timings. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm talking about efforts. So that is the in your football that you have to stoop to the level of participation money from IFL. No. See that, Nixon, that's another problem which I sometimes feel that again, don't you want to understand what has happened? That the IFL participation money is, why are they? And I don't know if you've watched my video. What I request everyone, because I see a lot of people don't seem to understand, right? Why have ISL and IFL clubs to pay participation money? To fund the league, right? To fund the league. Because the AFF doesn't have the money. Oh, you know what? The commercial partner pulled out. Why? Because certain people want to force them to pull out. It is not stooping to the level. It is stooping to reality. The reality, the AFF doesn't have the money to run these leagues. They never had. Without a commercial partner coming in and giving them money, or big sponsors giving them money, the AFF doesn't have the money to run the leagues. And the clubs are also in themselves not in a position to run it. That's also proven. No? Tata spends more on CSR, still can't fund the team, which is a tiny bit of its CSR. That's what you're saying. That is what you are saying. Tata thinks otherwise. From Komal Tuttle to Brandon, if any one of the millions of these so-called potentials was fulfilled, so we would have gone us fed up of these. Yeah, but again, and these could have, would haves are not the ones that would have taken us to the next level. That's the other problem. We have made could haves, would haves with people who have never been of the level to be able to play at that level. Sir, I feel we should bring back marquee player clause. People went to stadium just to see Roberto Carlos, Perez, David James, etc. Yeah, also, then spend money. If you want marquees to come in, then you have to spend money. Without money, You will not be able to do that. Marquees are not coming for free to you now because you're saying, oh, you know what? Indian football needs you. Please come, plus come for free. So this is, again, we need to live in the reality. A lot of people don't want to live in the reality of where Indian football is. That these people who are running football at the top have brought us to that level. That is clear. I think that without doubt to me, that is clear. But the point is that at this moment in time is where do you head? What do we do to rectify these things? That's to me the most important thing. And that I don't think anyone has an answer to that. That to me is the most worrying factor. Or people who could have an answer, could find solution to those, are not in a position of power to take decisions in the best interest of Indian football. Right. So yeah, the reality is, and it's brutal. So yeah, yeah, but that FSN ever squandered that opportunity. You killed the tree before it bears fruit. Yeah, but Nixon, uh, AFF, yeah, to some extent, but other people even more. Ask that to the people who went to Supreme Court, people like Ranjit, and then thank them for that, right? Or bring three or four top stars in ISL like Iniesta. Utsav, they're not coming. The money that Iniesta would earn would most probably be half of this money that all the clubs spend. Utsav, it doesn't work that way. Iniesta, and why would Iniesta come to a failing league like India, right? Look at what the Saudis pay. Look what the Qataris play, the Emiratis pay. Look at what the Japanese or South Koreans pay, right? So realities of where we stand at this moment in time. And with that, slowly over 2 hours, nearly 2 hours and 5 minutes of this live on this Monday evening. Sadly, again, little negative, but these are realities of Indian football, right? I don't like to be that, but these are realities at the moment. We need to get out of it, and hopefully things will get better in the future. As always, at the end, once more, the reminder: please do like, please do share, please do subscribe. Watch my short videos. Support Arun Foot here on YouTube. And yeah, I don't know why again a problem because my net is seems to be fine. And I'll catch you most likely tomorrow with another Indian football and more discussion here on foot. As I say, like, share, and subscribe.